Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I am your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment Official. Now, let's go, baby. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is KJ. And I am doing a episode 2 review for the new series on Max, The Penguin by DC. And this is a spoiler review, so if you have not seen this, pause this, give me a thumbs up, because I would definitely appreciate that. That would help the channel grow. Go watch episode 1 and 2 of the Penguin series on Max. Come back and check out this spoiler review. So, again, y'all been warned. Let's get it. This episode starts off with Sophia in a therapy session with Dr. Julian Rush. And Sophia is reliving her memories, and she freaks out in a panic attack that explains that she is dealing with a lot of trauma that relates to the family business of the Falcones and how much that has affected her because it's a business of crime. And she shows us how she's grieving over her death of her brother, Alberto Falcone. And then there's a moment where it looked like the therapist, Dr. Julian Rush, is kind of like, has feelings for her, and it was kind of weird. And he was kind of holding her. And usually, I don't know if this type of therapy is like that in real life, but I don't think they're allowed to put your hands on you like that. But she like punches him in the arm or slaps him, I forget. But I think he has feelings for her. And it kind of reminds me of Joker and Harley Quinn in the sense of it. But again, this is the DC Elseworld universe, so anything can happen in that. But she has that and she leaves. And then the episode cuts to another scene where we see the Penguin show up. And the Penguin, man, he's setting up both the biggest mob families in Gotham City, the Maronis and the Falcones. Penguin goes in through some situations that makes him have to improvise. And the whole thing was he was going to get all this stuff set up. And he's talked to the Falcone family at the prison cell. And he's like, look, I was getting on the trust. They're going to have all the drop. And he's going to get an A to B, right? He says, real simple. But then when he does this, right, a member of the Falcone family says, hey, what are you doing? You can't go on this. You got to go on the truck. It's your call. It's your plan. You get in the trunk. This is the truck with the drop, with all the product in the barrels, right? And he knows there's a guy from the Maron family getting ready to jack this truck up and shoot him to death. And so he has to improvise on dealing with this. And as he was riding along, he gets there, the driver gets in there, bang, bang, shoot, shoot. But, Penguin knew. That's why he made that little joke, cranked up the music a little bit. But as Penguin shot the driver, or I think the other guy did, but the other guy got shot in like the shoulder and he got captured in the sense later on in that episode. But Penguin made it look like he had nothing to do with it. And this is Penguin at his best. This is what Penguin's good at. He's good at backstabbing people, playing people, making like deals and promises that sound legit, sound good, but in some way, somehow, he rises on top and everybody else gets screwed over. But that's the type of person this character is. And this is how we've seen this. Like, he's in a place where he can die easily. Like, he can get it, but he's so good at planning and executing the right plan, making the right moves. Like, he literally, it's kind of a joke, funny joke, but he's quick on his feet, kind of like a penguin. Right? Like penguins can run. They may look like they run slow, but they can run really fast. So there's your like a an animal penguin reference to the penguin, the way he, even though he waddles and stuff in this show. Now, again, he's really smart at this. So, as he made it look like he had nothing to do with it, and the next scene goes where you see the penguin and other members on the Falcone side arguing about what happened, who did this. Sophia barges in. She calls him out not looking for the killer of her brother, and nobody knows it's the penguin, which is crazy. This whole thing, like, everybody does not realize it's the penguin, but the penguin's doing everything he can to make them not think it's him. But he finds advantage because Sophia doesn't know yet until later on in this episode that her uncle is he's looking out for himself and his side of his family. Like, his brother's gone. Now he wants to take up the mantle and be that brother. But he's going to look out for his family, like his kids, his wife, whatever it is. He's going to be looking out. Like, he don't want to deal with the people who associate with his brother and who's loyal to him. He don't want the loyal people loyal to that Falcone. He wants only the people who's loyal to him of that Falcone side of the family, basically. So it's like one of those situations, but she don't realize that. That's why he's like, you can't make that call, only I do, type situation. So she is not in a position to make moves, but she's telling him there's a snitch in here. And nobody knows, but again, we all know it's the penguin. After that, even Penguin tries to talk to Sophia, and she's like, what do you want? Like, you just want something. Like, how do I know it ain't you? And then he's playing along like, no, you should be in charge, and everybody knows it. Yeah, she's like, I don't owe you nothing. And he's like, you're right, but I owe you. And he walks off. So he's trying to play, but he knows he's upset because the Falcone family don't care about him. You know, he's like, whatever, like, you're not worth it. They all know he's a dog, he's a backstabber. So they kind of get it, but he's trying to look like heroic within a mobster crime scene, right? And then we see Penguin and Victor walking the streets, and Victor stops and looks at this like missing poster, and it seems like I thought he was in the poster because there's one I can't see, and I stopped it and I still couldn't recognize if that was him in the missing photo, but I feel like he knows somebody that's in that photo or missing poster. It was I'm trying to say. So I'm not sure, but I know there's somebody he sees and recognizes on those missing posters. And then, when they get back to Penguin's place, they share a heartwarming moment where Penguin's telling about his first job and say, look, kid, if you stay by me, I'll get you there. Like, trying to motivate this guy, this kid, this young man, I should say, and to take these risks and try to give him his best. But because throughout this episode, we see Victor's weakness, what gets him scared, what makes him fumble the ball, the football, basically, in football terms. But we see that later on. But then they have this big party, and it's so cool, and we see it, and he seems like he has a lady friend or a lover, but who knows. But then we go to the next episode, or the next scene, I should say, and we see this detective asking for a drop, I believe, but the bartender told him, hey, take it to the Riddler. So it seems like the Riddler is up to a new scheme, a new plan. What is it? I don't know. But all we know is Riddler's locked up in the Arkham prison. So I'm not really sure what he has to do with this episode. But I'm sure they'll save that for the Batman 2, probably. Then he meets this detective who is addicted to drugs, basically. He meets Sophia Falcone, and they make him a deal, like, I'll give you some money, more of this drop, if you go find out who's snitching on my family, who's the rat, the rat, basically. And So he agrees to it. Like he can't get enough. He got some money and some drugs. He's on it. Then they go back to the party, and we see Penguin and some prostitutes basically, and he seems like he's very close to one. But in that scene, Victor gets a text from a person named Garcia, and I believe it's the I believe it's the woman when they're all trying to take Penguin's cap hubs or whatever, or rims. But I believe that could be it. But or maybe it's a family member, a sister, a mom. Who knows? Well, not mom, because he would have said mom in the text. But just basically said, "Where are you? And are you okay?" And he couldn't reply, but he's Penguin's trying to teach Victor how to be good at this particular job. And I thought that was very interesting, showing us Penguin does have a lot to lose in this one particular scene as he talks to his lady friend, and she's like, man, what you're doing is dangerous, gonna get you killed. And she knows if they find out she was a part of it, they're gonna get her too. And no cop's gonna be taking the time to investigate who killed some prostitutes. So it's that type of situation. But he's a player. He plays it smooth, let her know it's gonna be all good, and he's gonna handle some business. So that's how that ended. And then it goes to where the Penguin and Victor go to see Penguin's mom, and we reveal that she has dementia and it's getting worse. And so Penguin is showing another softer side for his mom, just the love of his mom. But his mom is also the one that's encouraged him to be the biggest crime mob boss, like take the throne of that. And, it's up to him. So even though she's got dementia, she's expecting him to achieve this goal before she passes away, basically, because she don't want to live in this house. And then we go to the funeral, and Penguin tells Victor what he's got to do, and he has to put these jewelry in this car, but of course Victor, he fumbles it. He gets scared. He gets caught breaking in. But as that all's happening, Sophia has the guy from the Maroons family, and obviously Penguin has to go get it because early in that episode, they were gonna kill him. Like, if you don't get our guy back, you're dead. Even though he gave the Maroney some pictures of some dirt on some Falcone members having an affair with Sophia's uncle's wife. It can be on. Now they got something on them, but that's not good enough. They want the dude that was trying to help the Penguin get this to ambush the drop, right? And so he tries that, but that didn't work because Victor failed. He got caught and he ran. So what does Penguin do? He stabs the guy, not Victor, but the guy that is part of the Marone family. And then he takes the knife, cleans it up, and he leaves. So then Sophia's uncle has to have everybody line up, and Penguin is so smooth. He played it off. He argued with one of the guys, and then the right hand man of Sophia tries to break it up, and that's when he slips in the knife that was used, and they found it. And the right hand man is Sophia. He's just saying, Sophia, it's not me. That's not my knife. And then the uncle shoots the guy right in the head. And basically, like, after that, they had the Penguin try to bury the bodies. So he just had Victor and gave him a life lesson. Like, man, if you fail, you're dead. Like, you're going to be laying with these guys. Giving them the harsh reality. Like, you got to be quick on your feet. And I think, and it's like a big brother mentality. So what I believe is, I think Victor is going to get better at this job. And he's going to be a key factor to the Penguin's success in all this plan and scheming. And I think this would be interesting too, because I don't know which Victor is he. I don't know if he's like Mr. Freeze or whoever. There's a lot of different Victors in the DC comic world, but I don't know exactly which one. It's really hard to tell based off of 2 episodes, and they're not really revealing that much about him yet. So it's whatever I can get. Maybe by episode 5 they should have a little bit more information about this kid. Now this is where at the end of this episode, Sophia decides to work with the Penguin because she realized her uncle's trying to not just send her away to Italy for vacation, but he just he has a different idea where he's gonna take the Falcone family business to a new level, and he doesn't want his brothers, kids involved because they would ruin up his master plans basically. So that's how that ended. Now, what I think about this episode, man, so far this is a really good mobster show of a story in DC Comics continuity, basically. And I like where it's going. It has that Batman dark and gritty. Because if you notice, everything they're trying to do in daylight because Batman don't come out at daylight. But you can tell, like, they're very sneaky when they do things at night because they're watching out for Batman. You seen that with the when they were delivering all the products and getting ambushed. They were also worried about the Marone family, but you can tell Penguin and everybody else was worried about if Batman was going to show up. Luckily, Batman didn't, which is nuts. But maybe it's not under his radar yet. Another thing, let's talk about Sophia Falcone. I want to talk about that therapist. I have an idea that could be the Scarecrow. I'm not sure how, but I feel like this the way he had and the way he speaks, the way his office was set up, it just reminds me of something the Scarecrow would do. And why is he so obsessed with Sophia? And why does he have these feelings like? But even though he's friend zoned by Sophia, because I don't think Sophia's in love with anybody like that. But I'm not sure. But he's the therapist is probably gonna lose his mind, and he has a lot of fear because the way he was trying to treat her is to face her fear. So he's probably going to be coming up with a fear toxin, so that it could be the Scarecrow. That's why I think that. With Sophia Falcone, she kind of has that. No, she's rehabilitated from the Arkham Asylum facility, but I was gonna say she kind of has that Harley Quinn, but not really. I don't want to say she's crazy, but I think she's just got a lot of trauma. But I think that everybody in her family is treating her like she's crazy. And she well is crazy, and she murders some people. But the difference is she did it in a different vicious way. Because if you remember Alberto Falcone, he was telling Penguin like that the way he was thinking is the old way, the new way is this way. And there's really no loyalty or respect. It's just ruthless aggression type. And I think that's where Sophia Falcone is obviously inspired by her brother. And she's going to continue on with that type of attitude and proceed that way, running the family business. So she wants to take over the Falcone business for sure. And she knows it. So it's gonna. I think this one's gonna. It's definitely gonna get teasing a lot more blood and brutality, beatings, and I feel like this could set up too for more stories for Batman with Robert Pattinson as Batman. I feel like too, and if they wanted, because I'm hoping they don't kill off Sophia Falcone or the Penguin, but I feel like for the Batman 2, I would love to see these two characters show up, but be in a successful way, in a mobster way, right? But I would love to see Batman put a stop to them, obviously. And this has a lot of potential storylines where it could lead that way, but there's only 2 episodes so far, and they're only giving me 1 episode every week on a Sunday, so it's gonna be a little tough to really identify where it could really go. But that's what I would think. Like, this whole series spinoff show is gonna lead into the Batman 2, basically. But there's a lot of in this episode too. You notice how, they're being very secretive, and they're keeping everything on the low, and they're playing safe and doing more of the stuff during daylight. But they all have that fear of Batman showing up. And some are acting like they're not afraid of him, some are. And that's what I like about this show. Like, at least they're always making sure Batman's presence is in this universe for sure, these episodes for sure. So I can see some Batman reference coming next, but that's just what I think. But if I had to give this show 1 out of 10, I'm giving it a 10. What a great episode. I don't really watch a lot of mob shows. Like, I haven't watched The Sopranos for years, and I haven't watched the Godfather movie in years either. But when something like a mob movie or show comes out like this, and it's really good like this, it's really cool. I like a mob story. I like the classic mobster, the Godfather feel, the Scarface type feel. I like that. And this has all that element in there. And it's really cool. It's like these guys, and men and women, don't show mercy. Like, if you mess up, you're done. And they're cutthroat, literally. They cut throats. That's why I'm loving this. And, I like how they're focusing on these two characters. And I always find interesting things about this, too, is how they mention the Riddler's name again. So where it's teasing the idea the Riddler is doing something else right now. But the Penguin, the Falcons, and the Maronis, they're not really concerned about the Riddler. And it's none of their business, and they're not in their business, so they're not going to really protake on. But there's a lot going on, so Gotham is a busy city, so that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace